Caitlin Clark is now a household name, but not for no reason. She has become one of the best ever to play the game of basketball, and tens of millions of people have come together to watch her play. And so I asked myself,
I think that's going to be a flagrant one.
Now, to fully understand who Caitlin really is, we will start with her early childhood and quickly move throughout her life to see why she's currently one of the most famous athletes in all of sports. Join me in experiencing the rise of Caitlin.
In 2009, a young girl named Caitlin Clark was attending elementary school in Iowa. Her mother kept a special piece of paper filled out during Caitlin's second or third grade year, where she had written her dreams in small, hopeful bubbles. Among those aspirations, one stood out: play in the WNBA and earn a basketball scholarship. It seemed ambitious for a young girl, but from a young age, Caitlin was determined. Growing up, Caitlin's love for basketball drove her to play with the boys in her neighborhood, even though it often meant she was the smallest and least experienced on the court. She continued playing with the boys until about 6th grade, longer than most girls her age would endure. Her older brother, who was always bigger, stronger, and faster, became both her fiercest competition and an inspiration. Yet, playing with him and his friends wasn't always easy. She often faced teasing and found herself on the losing side of games. The frustration she felt when losing was something she struggled to understand. It wasn't just about winning. Caitlin had an innate desire to push herself to be the best. Her parents didn't always appreciate her reaction to losses. When she lost in a sport, whether it was basketball or softball, Caitlin would break down in tears, unable to grasp why things hadn't gone her way. Her mother often reminded her, if you want to play with them, you have to find a way to hold your own. That advice stuck with Caitlin, motivating her to keep improving and fight harder. The first signs of Caitlin's extraordinary talent began to show when she was still in middle school. A high school coach recalls seeing her play the summer before her 9th grade year. It was immediately clear that Caitlin possessed a natural talent and court vision that most players could only dream of. Over her high school years, she honed her skills, becoming a fearless competitor who could see plays develop before they happened. Caitlin loved pushing her limits, whether it was perfecting difficult passes or trying new, daring moves on the court. Her love for the game and relentless work ethic fueled her growth. By the time she was in high school, Caitlin had clinched a spot on Team USA's youth squad, winning 3 gold medals in international competitions. Yet, her journey wasn't without setbacks. As a rising junior, Caitlin faced a humbling disappointment when she didn't make the team despite having been a part of it the year before. She even played through an injured pinky, during training camp, but ultimately performed poorly and didn't make the final cut. It was one of the toughest moments of her young basketball career. Yet, instead of letting it defeat her, Caitlin used the setback as motivation to come back stronger. It lit a new fire within her, pushing her to prove herself once again. Caitlin's work ethic became the foundation of her game. She was often the first one in the gym and the last one to leave, focusing on improving her skills each day. Despite her long-term dreams of playing professionally, Caitlin's approach remained rooted in the present, always striving to maximize her potential one practice at a time. She believed in perseverance. If she fell, she got back up and tried again. In her shooting drills, Caitlin had a goal: 233 out of 300 shots, a number she pushed herself to achieve regularly. Breaking it down, she aimed for around 70 out of 100 on three-pointers, 81 mid-range shots, and 90 out of 100 from the free throw line. Caitlin's focus and determination were evident, and she saw the game with a clarity that few players possessed. To her, the game seemed to move in slow motion, allowing her to anticipate plays and react quicker than her opponents. During her freshman year of high school, Caitlin started focusing on strength and conditioning, which made a noticeable difference by her sophomore year. She became known for hitting logo threes, long-range shots from well beyond the three-point line, earning a reputation for her scoring ability. As her high school career progressed, her popularity soared, with more fans turning up to watch her play. By her junior year, Caitlin's games drew crowds from beyond Iowa, with fans traveling from places like Boston just to see her play. Caitlin Clark's impact reached beyond the court. Her electrifying play style and charisma brought new attention to women's basketball, drawing larger audiences and increasing media coverage. Her games became events in themselves, with packed arenas and fans eager to see what she would do next. This phenomenon became known as the Caitlin Clark effect, and it wasn't just about basketball, it was economic too. An analysis by a nonpartisan research group estimated that Caitlin's presence had contributed over $52 million to Iowa's economy in a single year. Hotels filled up, restaurants saw increased business, and ticket prices for her games surged, with some fans paying up to $500 for a single ticket. The excitement surrounding Caitlin and the Iowa Hawkeyes helped set new records for ticket sales and game attendance. Her presence on the court transformed the landscape of women's college basketball, showing that there was a strong appetite for the sport when given the right star power. Caitlin was aware of the growing attention and appreciated the fans who traveled long distances to see her play, but her primary focus remained on the game she loved. During her junior year, Caitlin continued to dominate, leading the Iowa Hawkeyes to 2 consecutive NCAA championship game appearances. Despite her incredible performances, the team fell short in both championship games, which led to some criticism. Detractors argued that Caitlin couldn't be considered one of the greatest without winning a national title. Comparisons were drawn to basketball legends like Michael Jordan, who used early failures as motivation for future success. Yet, Caitlin's accomplishments were undeniable. She became the all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball, breaking records for three-pointers made in a season and surpassing legends like Steph Curry and Pistol Pete Maravich. Her scoring abilities, leadership, and vision on the court made her a generational talent. But the debate over her legacy lingered. Did she need a championship to truly be considered one of the best? In the 2024 WNBA draft, Caitlin Clark was selected as the #1 overall pick by the Indiana Fever, a moment that cemented her status as one of the most anticipated newcomers in women's professional basketball. The Fever, coming off a season with the league's worst record, hoped Caitlin would be the cornerstone of their rebuild. Fans and analysts were eager to see how she would adapt to the challenges of the WNBA. But the transition proved difficult. The Fever struggled early, starting the season 0-5, and Caitlin faced intense scrutiny from critics who questioned whether her college success could translate to the professional level. Defensive schemes in the WNBA focused on shutting her down, and the adjustment to playing against the world's best players tested her resilience. On top of that, Caitlin faced criticism that extended beyond her on-court performance, with some suggesting that her popularity was influenced by factors like pretty privilege and white privilege. Amidst the noise, many players, including WNBA stars like A'ja Wilson and Aaliyah Boston, supported Caitlin, recognizing the challenges of transitioning from college to professional basketball. Charles Barkley and LeBron James publicly defended her, emphasizing the positive impact she had on women's sports, from increased visibility to financial growth for the league. Despite the initial struggles, Caitlin remained focused, working tirelessly to improve her game and build chemistry with her new teammates. The Fever's young roster began to gel, and Caitlin started showing flashes of her college dominance, hitting deep three-pointers and delivering precise passes to her teammates. Her scoring and playmaking abilities helped spark a mid-season turnaround for the Fever, and fans once again marveled at her ability to take over games. Caitlin's determination to improve and adapt in the face of adversity began to pay off. She recorded her first triple-double as a pro, an impressive achievement for a rookie. The Fever's fans, who had witnessed her struggles, now celebrated her growth and resilience. Her presence on the court continued to draw crowds, and her impact on the league's visibility remained substantial. Caitlin's ability to inspire and uplift those around her became as important as her statistics. Caitlin Clark's journey to the WNBA was marked by both soaring highs and difficult setbacks, but through it all, she remained focused on being the best version of herself. She understood that her legacy went beyond scoring records and championships. For Caitlin, her greatest pride came from inspiring young girls to chase their dreams, just as she once dreamed of playing professionally on that piece of paper in elementary school. Don't get it twisted, sports analysts would say. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things are happening for the WNBA. Her style, charisma, and love for the game had brought new fans to women's basketball, changing the perception of what the sport could be. Caitlin's presence in the league continued to challenge stereotypes and open doors for future generations of players. Caitlin Clark's story is one of perseverance, growth, and the power of believing in yourself, even when the odds seem against you. Her journey from a young girl in Iowa to a record-breaking star has shown that success isn't defined by